Hi everyone, I'm Lizzie Bermudez. Welcome to Bay Area Life, the place where lifestyle, interests, food, and entertainment all come together. There's so much to explore. On today's show, we're exploring marine wildlife on the Monterey Bay.
Lately, we've been actually having a lot of really cool activity.
Then, tips and tricks for shopping your local farmer's market.
Each variety has a little bit of a different nutrient, so take full advantage of that.
And an amazing organization giving hope to children dealing with loss.
They feel this community together, that everybody understands what they're going through.
Plus, the perfect weekend getaway in Capitola Village.
It's going to be a happy memory and a place that you're going to come again and again.
All of this fun driven by your Northern California Honda dealers. Want to get away? How about a day trip to Monterey? We're here with Princess Monterey Whale Watching, and we are talking to Marin. She is a marine biologist. Tell us about what you do here.
Oh man, so what I do is a lot of fun. I love my job. We go out and we take people that are visiting Monterey, whether it be locals, kids, people of all ages. We take them out whale watching, and we basically tell them a little bit about all of the wildlife in the area, whether it be otters, seals, sea lions, and then all the way up to the big blue whales, the biggest animals you can imagine out there. So it's definitely a lot of fun.
You named some of the wildlife that you will see out there. Get into a little more specifics about these different creatures that we'll see out there.
You know, so we could see everything from the tiniest animals, like the tiniest birds. We can go all the way up to otters, seals, sea lions, and then, but finally, the big goal of the trip is to check out the whales out there. And lately, we've been actually having a lot of really cool activity. The common dolphins have been showing up pretty regularly for the last 7 months. We've been seeing gray whales, which migrate up and down our coast every year. And the weirdo factor has been the humpback whales. They should have been long gone. Small group of them just never left. There was so much food for them here in the canyon that they've just been gorging themselves all winter long, and we've been getting a lot of early comers coming in, so it's been a lot of fun. We're one of the rare places in the world that's able to have whale watching all throughout the year, and it's because of the different seasonality between your different species of whales. So, for example, we'll get our summer feeders that come in over the summertime. They gorge, pig out in the canyon, the Deep Monterey Submarine Canyon.
You say it gets a little tricky or a little dicey. They gorge. For the common person who has never been out here, what does that mean exactly?
So depending on what animal you're talking about, so take for example humpback whales. They come in, they're stirring everything up. You know, we usually like to say Monterey Bay is like the soup bowl for all of these animals. I like to call it like the buffet table. They can kind of feed on a variety of things. Mostly they like smaller schooling fish. They've been feeding on anchovies for the past 2 years, but they can feed alongside with the blue whales on krill, which is basically a small, kind of like a shrimp scampi little guy in the water. They'll feed on 2.5 tons of it per day. And what they're gonna do, and they'll actually work together, sometimes even with sea lions, I call them feeding frenzies. We'll find these feeding frenzies of hundreds of sea lions working together with sometimes upwards of like 20 humpback whales. What they're doing is kind of like circling around their food. They're corralling it into a nice tight bait ball, and they're all kind of taking turns feeding on that. Now the gray whales, they're not feeding here, so they only feed up in Alaska. They're pretty much just passing through the area. They're trying to migrate down to Mexico, turn around and come back. They got no time to stop and eat here. With the gray whales, they're actually bottom feeders. So they're gonna kind of dive down to the bottom, they're gonna kind of rustle through the benthic sea floor for little critters, bugs and all of that, amphipods, copepods, tube worms. And then you've got blue whales. Now we do see blue whales here. Not often. We don't have them for a whole heck of a long time. Those guys are almost exclusive krill eaters, which is funny because blue whales, biggest animals ever to have roamed the planet, 100-foot long, 200-ton monsters, and they're feeding on krill, which are like that big. But really it's because of how much energy they have, how much nutrients they have, and they're feeding on about 8 tons of it per day. So they're kind of like filter feeding for packets of energy in the water. And if they're feeding on 8 tons of it, that's how they grow to be these massive, larger-than-life animals. It's awesome. Monterey Bay is home to the 3rd largest submarine canyon in the whole world. It starts about a mile or so offshore of Moss Landing, and it bisects our bay. So it cuts out about 100 or 200 miles or so west. At its deepest point, it's over 2 miles. It's bigger than the Grand Canyon. So, you know, I always like to envision this huge underwater submarine Grand Canyon that splits our bay in half. It offers colder, deeper water closer to shore. And what it does is it harbors a lot of cold, nutrient-rich waters that upwells with the warmer water at the surface. So it cycles. So you get a lot of different food supply for a lot of other marine animals, seals, sea lions. It attracts a variety of birds all throughout the year. And then, of course, some of our larger cetaceans that we see almost every day out here.
Miriam, tell me why you do what you do.
You know, I think I just love this area so much. It's such a beautiful area, and with all of the diverse marine wildlife that we have, I just love being able to share that with people. I love being able to teach kids all the neat things about the ocean, all of these neat animals that you might not always see from the shore. And I think that's my favorite thing, is getting people really excited about coming out on the water, coming out and seeing the different animals that we basically share our backyard with.
And this is something that, you know, families and kids and adults of every age can do, right?
Yep, everyone's a kid at heart, so everyone's gonna have fun on our trips.
Coming up, shop your local farmer's market like a pro. We'll show you how.
Come to the farmers market, talk to the farmers, take a risk and try something different. Everyone will be happy.